On this episode of MythBusters,
Look, Maggie.
it's revenge of the creepy crawlies as the whole team bugs out in the Bug Special.
Kind of like an upside-down kite.
First, Adam and Jamie take on the flight of the bumblebee
I hate being around bees.
as they put this viral video to the test. Can 1,000 bees really make a laptop lift off?
Come on, bees. Go, up.
Meanwhile, Carrie, Grant, and Tori take on the year's most requested myth. Can bags of water repel flies?
Ding, 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 ding. Chow time.
And finally, they get even more bang for their bug
Oh, it's a cute little bug of death.
with the tale of a speeding motorcyclist fatally floored by an insect impact.
Oh, my God.
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage
I am ready.
and Jamie Heineman. Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience. Joining them, Grant Imahara,
Into the belly of the beast.
Carrie Byron,
Time to wreck this car.
and Tori Belleci.
Oh, we survived.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
Why are you smiling?
Because we're about to do a story that I'm pretty sure is going to make you very uncomfortable.
What?
Well, it involves bees. In fact, it comes from a viral video that shows about 1,000 bees glued to the top of a lightweight laptop, and they fly away with it.
I hate bees. I do know that clip, and it is without a doubt something we should test.
Oh, my God.
This is the bee movie that has the internet abuzz. Supposedly glue, honey, and 1,000 bees lift this laptop off a log. But can this really be true? Or is it a flight of fancy?
How do you think we should tackle this one?
Well, we should do what they did in the clip and see if it works,
With protective gear on us, right?
if you want.
I want.
Yep, at Marshall's Farm, they've got all the protection Adam needs.
Let's do it.
And of course, Adam's nemesis, the bees.
Look, I think we all know that I don't like bees. Remember the hypnotism episode?
I told you I'd do this for science, and I told you I wouldn't like it one bit.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this because I think it's going to be fascinating, but I think if you check in with future me when we're in the middle of this experiment, he's going to think it's fascinating, but he's not going to like being there. That's totally correct. This is fascinating, but I don't like being here one bit. See? It's like I foretold the future.
But while they make Adam nervous, Jamie has nothing but respect for the humble honeybees.
Bees are just incredible creatures. An average worker bee only lives 6 weeks, and for half that time she's out foraging for nectar, where she can make 10 trips per day up to 4 miles away. So over the course of her lifetime, she could travel over 1,600 miles. All that effort for not much, since it takes 12 of these bees to get 1 teaspoon of honey.
It's amazing.
There's no doubt these bees can go the distance, but can they also weightlift?
So what I've got here is exactly what we've seen in the video. The same glue, the same laptop, and some honey. We're just gonna go for it, replicate everything we see, and see if it works.
For this to work, 3 things have to happen. We have to be able to attract a whole lot of bees to the surface of the laptop. Once they're there, we have to be able to adhere them to that surface. And then lastly, those bees have to have enough power to lift the laptop off the surface. What do I think will happen? Put it this way, I'll be very surprised if those bees are able to move that laptop at all.
And with the laptop coated in a layer of short-acting, bee-friendly glue, next, Adam adds a dash of honey.
All right, let's do it.
Then it's time for Jamie to bring on the bees.
Oh, look at all of those.
Let's grab that end.
You ready, Adam?
Yeah, ready, come on. Hurry up, the glue's drying. All right.
Oh, look at that.
Oh man, I had some bad dreams like this.
But unlike the video, one frame doesn't equal a bee-smothered laptop.
Go, up, lift.
Well, in the video, they lay down the glue, they bring over a frame of bees, give it a shake, and the whole laptop is covered with bees. In our experience, that's not exactly what happens. I think this is at least going to take 2 frames of bees to get full coverage, if not more. And that's if the adhesive works.
So for more coverage, Jamie brings in another swarm of bees.
Okay, here's the next batch.
Okay. Oh, hey, wow. That made a noise.
Well, that's a lot of bees on there.
They're not even flapping their wings. It's like they're having a conference. They're wondering, like, you know what the hell's going on? I don't. What the hell is this? Wait, I can't move my feet.
Well, the laptop's not going anywhere at all.
Doesn't seem like it's any lighter.
No, not so much.
Despite the same glue and twice the number of bees, the guys aren't getting the coverage for this myth to take wing. But rest assured, the MythBusters have a plan B.
We're going to increase our chance for success in this test in 3 ways. First, we're going to mix the glue and the honey together to make a tasty adhesive. And sweet gluey honey, or honey gluey. Second, we're going to give them another reason to stick around. Yeah, this queen right here, we're going to put this in the middle of the laptop because bees are genetically programmed to stay around a queen. Hopefully, that'll keep them around long enough to get stuck. Third, instead of 1 frame of bees like we saw in the video, whoa, nice! Oh, dude! We're going to shake 3 full frames of bees on this sucker, and if that doesn't work, wow, so well done. I was distracted by the fact that I hate being around bees. That's coverage. That's beautiful.
Up we go.
I think we need a couple more frames. Come on. Ah, damn. Ha!
That's a lot of bees.
Ha! Wow. Calm thoughts, calm thoughts. Not calm feelings, calm thoughts.
What's the matter?
The number of bees may be disturbing for Adam, but this test is finally starting to look like the viral video.
The coverage is great.
There have to be thousands of bees on there right now.
That is a hum of activity.
But although it looks like the video, there is one key difference.
What do you think? Is the laptop getting lighter?
I think it's actually getting heavier.
Even after a brave attempt at encouraging flight,
I'm gonna kick this. Ready?
No, not so much.
That was not nearly as spectacular as I would be afraid it would be. Well, dude, I don't think it's happening. We got the queen in the middle, the special adhesive, 5 frames worth of bees, like several thousand of them, and the laptop is, honestly, I think, heavier than when we started.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna fly.
Now, if you'll excuse me now, I'm gonna go off into a corner and let go of all my heebie-jeebies at once. I think you'll have to agree that we've done everything we can, and it's not just looking terrible for the myth, it's looking awful. I mean, it's nowhere close to happening. I feel like I want to go back to the shop and start teasing apart the components of this story to find out why.
Okay, so first up, the myth that water repels flies.
Oh, finally we're testing this one. I mean, this one's been going berserk on the fan site forever.
The myth being that if you want to repel flies from your property, you just hang a bunch of clear bags of water.
Clear bags of water, no additives, nothing else?
Nope, just water.
That's insane.
Tell that to the flies.
according to the fans, this is a no-fuss, no-buzz solution. Decking your house with bags of water will keep flies away. But could H2O alone really create a no-fly zone?
All right, well, this seems pretty straightforward to test. We get a room full of flies, we take 2 pieces of meat, put them on either sides of the room, hang a bag of water over 1 piece of meat, and see which ones the flies go to.
Okay, well, I have 2 questions. First of all, how many flies should we use?
We need a pretty big sample size. Let's start with 5,000.
Okay, here's a better question then. How are we gonna count them?
You know what? Flies don't live that long. I mean, we could just let them die naturally and then count them then.
Perfect.
Okay.
So to answer the fan furor, Tori creates a home for the flies, while Carrie explains just why this idea might work.
Now, flies have prismatic vision, and since a bag of water is going to reflect and refract light, it will create a field of high optic flow, which is going to tell the fly that there's something in his way, essentially creating a bug lighthouse, warning it away from the rocky shores.
Flies have compound eyes consisting of thousands of lenses, which means they see a mosaic image of their surrounds. So the theory is the light refracted through the water is amplified, and this deters the flies.
Now this fly box is made up of 3 equal compartments, sectioned off by trapdoors. Now in the middle section, that's where we're gonna be holding our flies. And on the end sections, they're both gonna have a piece of meat. However, one of the sections is gonna have a bag of water. Then what we're gonna do is open up our trapdoors and see which piece of meat the flies go to. The one with the bag or the one without.
Yep, it's a simple plan, and with Tori's fly box complete, now all they need is...
So to put this myth to the test, we need flies, and a lot of them.
Look, Maggie!
Oh, God! That's crazy!
I've had nightmares like this. Now, the flies that we've chosen are common house flies. Why have we chosen them? Well, we know that they're attracted to rotting things, particularly rotting meat.
Smell this.
Yeah, it's bad.
This would be like a buffet for Bear Grylls.
You're freaking me out.
They're just like cute little grains of rice that squirm around.
Oh, back off, back off, back off, back off.
All right, that's it. That's all the maggots. Let's close it up.
And with that, it's just a matter of sitting back and waiting 3 days for the maggots to metamorphosize into flies.
Come on, you filthy maggots! Get in there and grow! We need 5,000 healthy soldiers! Pronto!
Next up for the Bug Special is an uneasy rider myth.
All right, so what do we got?
Either of you ride motorcycles?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this next myth might bug you. The idea is that while riding a motorcycle, a collision with an insect could be fatal.
Like it flies in your eye and then you swerve out of control and crash?
Nothing that obvious. It's that the impact itself kills you instantly. You're gone before you crash.
Really? I guess. I mean, I've seen some pretty big insects.
Well, you need a better hobby.
Ooh, like building robots?
The story goes that this speeding biker was taken out by a bug strike. But does that fly in the face of physics, or could an insect impact really be deadly?
You know, I gotta say right off the bat, I'm a little skeptical about this one. I mean, I get the whole bug crashes into your face, you get distracted, you crash scenario, but killing you on impact?
All right, well then let's start by talking to a trauma specialist. Maybe there's a pressure point or a weak spot like the windpipe or the sternum that could create that kind of fatal result.
All right, that's a good idea. And then we'll figure out a way to ride a motorcycle into insects.
Okay, not it on the driving. Ew.
First up, a second opinion from trauma expert Dr. Trollin.
So Dr. Trollin, is there any area of the head or neck that is vulnerable to something like this?
Well, there's maybe one spot. There was a study done where they did different pressures on the different parts of the body. Forehead, 2,000 pounds. The chest, 400 to 4,000 pounds, depending on how old the person was. But there is one spot that's a little vulnerable. Right here, cricothyroid area. Only 76 pounds of pressure.
So let's say we do find a bug that could cause this kind of force. How does that lead to death?
It's not the crush itself, it's the swelling afterwards. What happens is the swelling in the area of the throat closes off the air pipe, the trachea, and that's what causes you to die.
Right, so that weak spot means there could be something to this myth after all.
All right, so now we have all the information we need to go full scale. So now we're gonna need a motorcycle. And since we don't want to injure our motorcyclist, we'll get a sidecar. We need a force plate. And some bugs.
So, the first insect we're gonna try is a common housefly. Now, if this doesn't work, we're gonna move on to this big guy. This is a cicada. Now, this guy should definitely do some damage.
To measure that damage, Grant's using the force.
So how do we know if our bug strike is fatal or not? Well, with the force plate that I'm building, here's how it works. This is a force sensor. When it gets compressed, it registers on the computer. There'll be one of these in each corner of the plate. When a bug comes along and hits the plate, And based on that information, we'll know if the bug was a deadly bug or if it just bounced off.
This is our motorcyclist. This is the guy who's gonna be crashing into our insects. First thing I need to do is cut his head off. That way we can attach our force plate where the head is.
With the force plate attached, the headless rider is complete, and it's time to hit the road.
Let's find out if these bugs are really lethal or not. So this is the plan. We have the motorcycle. The human simulate is inside the sidecar. Now all I need to do is drive the motorcycle and run the human simulate into the fly. Then we'll find out, does a fly have enough force to crush a human being's windpipe?
And because, let's face it, this seems like a long shot, Tori will drive the bike at its top speed of 85 miles an hour.
That's good right there.
His target, the fly, will be held in place by a string of spaghetti to combat the breeze.
We've talked to an expert, and the only chance that he believes of our bug creating some sort of fatal collision is if it hits the thyroid cartilage. Now, I'm looking at the mass of this tiny little fly. I just don't think there's a chance.
So will the tiny fly strike be enough to crush a cricothyroid? Well, now is the moment of truth.
Okay, Tori, stand by. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go! Looks like he's going fast.
He's right on target, 85 miles an hour.
Whoa!
85 miles an hour, and it looked like he creamed that fly.
Yeah, that was a good hit.
It's no surprise to anyone that the impact obliterated the fly.
Did I hit it?
You nailed it.
All these years I've been saying Tori wouldn't hurt a fly.
But the astounding thing is just how much force the split-second fly swat imparted.
Look at that.
We have 10 pounds.
That is incredible. I mean, I didn't even think it was gonna register on the force plate.
I didn't think this myth had a chance at all, but that's an incredible result.
Yeah, it's nowhere near what we need for actual fracture of the cartilage of the neck, but it's a start.
All right, let's recap what we learned out there. The glue that they said they used in the video works great. The honey that they said they used to attract the bees attracted the bees. We got 1,000 bees on that laptop. Every parameter that they laid out in the video worked for us, except we got no liftoff. And I think clearly that means we need to break this down, take a single bee, and figure out that bee's lifting capacity. Like a bee Olympics. Weren't you part of the first bee Olympics?
Well, first up for Jamie is a trip to the roof at our Bee Olympics Athletes Village.
Let's see how we're doing this morning. Oh yeah, come to Papa.
With the bees on loan from the apiary, Jamie carefully selects a contender
Got her.
and then gives her a timeout.
I'm just gonna leave her in there for a little while and cool her down. And it won't hurt her, but it'll slow her down, make her sleepy. That way, when she's cool, we can handle her safely. And then when we're ready to start the experiment, we'll warm her up.
And while our bee chillaxes, Adam makes the arena.
In determining the lifting capacity of flying insects, we are not working completely in the dark. It has been tried before scientifically, many different ways. Allow me to demonstrate the methodology we'll be using. Our honeybee, represented by this little plastic bee right here, will have around her midsection tied a little thread. That thread will have tied on it at regular intervals weights, in this case, beads. As she takes off, she will be lifting these beads until she reaches the limit of her lifting capacity. At that point, we will count the number of beads that have become airborne, and we will know just how strong this little cookie is.
And once they know how strong one bee is, they'll be able to extrapolate just how many it would take to lift a laptop.
I think we're ready.
But first, to harness up their bee bodybuilder. It's a delicate operation to tie the beads on loosely enough not to hurt our little contender.
I think she's ready. You want to warm her up in the palm of your hand? I never imagined I'd feel such feelings of affection for a honeybee.
Wow, she's already flying.
I know.
Attracted to the UV light overhead, the worker bee starts a few warm-up flights, but she's still too tired to compete.
It's kind of like an upside-down kite. Okay, I'll let you sit down. Walk right towards the honey. She's looking it up. I can see her little tongue.
Look at that. She's having a meal.
After her recharge on honey, a slightly more lively bee begins her flight tests.
There you go. She flew above my fingers.
With a bit of encouragement.
That's a good girl.
She's a little weightlifter. Oh, good.
Dude, that was a solid 4. I think she's getting stronger.
Suddenly, our bee is throwing her weights around.
Oh! Dude, she took off for the whole set.
She did.
Wow.
That was a good one.
That was a very, very good one. She very powerful.
And the high speed confirms just what a bruiser our bee turned out to be.
There we go.
There we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beads. She's like a bodybuilder.
Let's weigh them.
6, 7, 8 beads. They're all there.
96 milligrams.
That is really significant.
This little worker bee lifted 8 beads, which weigh 96 milligrams. She herself weighs 118 milligrams, so that means she was capable of lifting 81% of her own weight. Now, that's pretty impressive, but what does that mean when it comes to lifting a laptop?
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Let's weigh this baby. 2,216 grams.
Okay.
Now it's just a matter of some math. I'm going to crunch some numbers.
2,200,000 divided by 96.
So it would take somewhere in the neighborhood of 23,000 honeybees to lift our laptop, far more than the 1,000 claimed by the clip. But my question is there even enough square footage on the laptop to fit 23,000 bees? That's the next thing I'm going to find out.
We know the laptop has a surface area of 234 square inches. So now, to find the bees per square inch.
I've got here a piece of paper with a hole that's exactly 2 inches by 2 inches. That's 4 square inches. I'm thinking I hold this over my bee frame, I count how many bees is in here, and I get an average bees per square inch distribution. Here we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. They keep moving. Let me try this again.
With his bee average, now for the calculating.
I'm coming up with an average distribution of about 40 bees. That's 10 bees per square inch. 10 bees per square inch means that this laptop can support 10 times as many bees as the square inches of the laptop, which is 2,340 bees on laptop.
Yep, and numbers don't lie. So what does that mean for the myth?
What'd you figure out?
Well, I conclude that it takes 23,000 bees to lift our laptop. More than that, the laptop can only support a total population of 2,300 bees, roughly 1/10 of the number it needs to get airborne. This thing's totally busted on the math alone.
Well, you know what? I don't think that's the only reason it's busted.
What could he mean?
The team is testing the tail of a motorcyclist who got slugged by a bug and bit the big one.
We just ran our first test. We hit the fly at 85 miles an hour. Whoa! It registered on the force plate, giving us 10 pounds of force. But that's not enough to crush a windpipe and kill a human being. You need somewhere around 76 pounds of pressure to do that. Now, we're gonna move on to the cicada. Now this could potentially give us that 76 pounds of pressure that we're looking for to make this lethal.
Weighing around 100 times more than the fly, they should get more bang for their bug.
3, 2, 1, go!
To find out, the exterminator guns the bike to 85 miles per hour.
Is it 85?
Right on target.
And that's pasta la vista, baby.
I think I got some cicada in my mouth.
The force of impact vaporized the cicada, spraying bug bits everywhere. But was it a lethal bug strike?
Okay, what's the result?
37 pounds.
What?
Wow, that's a lot of force.
Yep.
But it's not enough to kill you.
But it's halfway there. That's incredible from a bug.
Incredible is right.
I never really expected the cicada to be a fatal collision, but 37 pounds is really, really surprising. I mean, that's halfway to the minimum dynamic fracture load that it would take to crush a windpipe.
So if a 10-gram bug got 37 pounds of force, then to get the deadly 76 pounds, they're going to need a bigger bug.
Look at this thing. Rah!
Luckily, they prepared one of those earlier.
The Goliath beetle, one of the largest insects on the face of the earth in terms of its bulk and its weight. They average about 4 inches long and can weigh up to 100 grams. They're indigenous to Africa, and if you're wondering, yes, they do in fact fly.
But you can't import these things live. They come all dried out. So I'm recreating our Goliath so that it has an exoskeleton, the right mass, and a nice gooey center so we get a splat.
For that, Carrie took a mold of the Goliath beetle.
Feel like I'm unearthing some sort of ancient dinosaur.
And then, using a polyurethane resin, replicated its outer shell.
Nice. Perfect exoskeleton.
Then the final step was to give the model some pudding guts.
That's bug guts. I actually do know what those taste like, thanks to MythBusters. Right now, my dried out Goliath beetle and the shell that we're using as a simulation have the same weight. They're both about 12, 13 grams. But we want these bugs to be live, so I'm adding guts to create the mass, the weight. We're gonna get 60 grams of bug guts into this guy. How weird is this?
Weird indeed. But since it's 6 times the mass of the cicada, perhaps the Goliath will prove fatal. You might say that it's crunch time.
2, 1, go!
One giant beetle versus a motorcyclist at 85 miles per hour.
Here he comes. Right on target.
Yep, 85 holding and...
Did you hear the sound it made?
Yeah, I think that could have been a kill. It went...
Covered in bug gut simulation.
This is pudding.
It's tasty.
Ooh, it's really old pudding.
There's no doubt that the beetle hit with a thwack.
That's a cartoon splat!
So that is a bug splatter.
But was that splat in the deadly force range?
Body just explodes. That's over 100 pounds of force.
Well, that's a lethal blow right there if it hit your windpipe.
After 3 bugs with 3 different masses, they've finally gotten the deadly impact of the myth at 85 miles per hour. But it's a 1,000,000 to 1 impact. And for the MythBusters, those odds are too high.
This myth is really starting to look plausible, but what we really need to find out now is, since we could get our 100-pound payload from this, what if we had higher speeds? What if the beetle hit somewhere else? I mean, it's more likely to hit your head or your chest, so can we cause instant death with the more likely scenario?
To test that, I think what we're gonna have to do is go to a much higher speed. Certainly much higher than we can get on the sidecar rig that we have right now.
But before the guys get up to speed, there's a swarm of flies to deal with. They're irritating, infuriating, and downright annoying. But can you repel flies with a bag of water?
So as you can see, our 5,000 flies have finally hatched. We have our very own swarm. And now it's time for our final experiment. Here's how it's gonna work. Box number 1 and box number 3 will each have a chunk of rotten meat in it to attract the flies. But only box number 1 will have a plastic bag filled with water. We'll open up the doors, let them go for an hour, then close them and count the flies.
Okay,
Okay, now it's time to put our essence of attraction to either side of our fly box, which is going to be rotten meat. Because flies like meat, but they love rotting meat. It's like catnip. There's a decomposing protein called cadaverine that it gives off this delicious smell to them that they just can't resist.
Ding, 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 chow time!
It smells so bad.
This putrid meat has been fermenting for 10 days, and with an identical amount in each chamber, it'll certainly attract the flies.
Let's see if this thing repels the flies.
They're sealed in.
Okay, 60 minutes with the doors open. Go!
Remember, because fly eyes consist of thousands of tiny lenses, supposedly the refraction of light through the water bag will be amplified and create a confusing obstacle.
So we just opened the trap doors inside the fly box to release the flies. Now, what do I think is gonna happen? I have a feeling once those flies smell that rotting meat, they're gonna go straight for it, and that bag of water is gonna do nothing to deter them.
Tori could be right. So far, the water bag is doing nothing to deter the flies from their fetid feast.
We do a lot of exciting things on the show. Explosions, guns, sharks. But believe it or not, will a bag of water repel flies is the most demanded myth on our website right now.
You asked for it, and here it is. But halfway through, it's looking dubious.
Look at that. Apparently, bags of water attract flies.
A quick time lapse, and 30 minutes later, the free-range feasting is up.
Now we can start counting flies.
Well, actually, not quite yet. They have to wait a week for the flies to drop like flies.
God, that's a lot of flies.
All right, let's clean them up and weigh them. All right. Here's a dirty job for you. I'm gonna have to say this is up there in the grossest things we've ever done.
Ew.
This is pretty disgusting.
With both sets of flies collected,
Time to get counted in the name of science.
it's time to weigh in on the water bag theory.
All right, so these are the flies from the compartment without water, and they weigh 20 grams.
All right.
Hey.
Well, these are the flies from the compartment with the supposedly fly-repelling water bag. All right, ready for the moment of truth?
Yep.
Oh!
35 grams. This one's busted.
It's not only busted, it's ridiculous.
Yep, looks like a bag of water does not work as a bug repellent.
Tell that to the fan site.
No more deadly or voracious creature than the praying mantis.
Hollywood bugs may be a force to be reckoned with.
It's lifted!
But in the case of this bee movie, well, the bees don't have the pulling power.
Look, the numbers here just don't add up. It would take 23,000 bees to lift that laptop, and they could never fit within that surface area. This thing is totally busted.
Well, not only that, but the laws of physics won't allow it. And you know what? I can prove it.
Cool.
There's a really basic problem inherent to this whole idea of having bees lift a laptop, and that is that, say this is the bee and it's attached to a large flat surface like my hand. When it blows air down, the air is going to hit that surface that it's trying to lift. It doesn't have any choice but to go off sideways. It needs to go down past the object to actually be able to lift it. It's kind of like being in a cartoon and you're in a sailboat blowing on the sail and off goes the boat with you in it. It doesn't work that way. And I think we can prove it with this little guy.
Yep, these tiny helicopters are just right to test Jamie's theory.
Right in the face.
Not only are they more cooperative than bees,
Oh, come on, into the shark's mouth. Oh!
there's also no sting in their tail.
Shall we figure out how much these puppies can lift?
Sure.
I broke out one of my weight sets. What I'm thinking is that we replicate the experiment we used on the bees and see how much it can lift here.
Great idea.
Adam starts with a weight of 2 grams on the string, and then it's over to the helicopter to start its weight training.
Well, 2 grams.
Okay, that's a good test.
1 more gram is added to the mini chopper payload.
I think that's our limit. I mean, it was literally like,
Yeah.
so I think 3 grams per helicopter is our weight limit.
How many helicopters do you want to use?
6.
Okay.
18 grams it is.
With the lifting capacity of the teeny heli sorted, Jamie whips up a 10-gram frame for the first part of this experiment.
That ought to do it. I think we're ready to fly. So if you do the math, 6 of these little guys should easily be able to lift this frame.
And as it turns out, Jamie's right.
Yes!
6 mini choppers can definitely lift the frame.
Whoa! That's flight!
So what's next?
All right, now, if your theory is correct and we add a film under here, they won't take off at all.
Not going anywhere. Let's do it.
All right.
Jamie tweaks his frame by skinning the bottom with tape.
So I've removed these things and I'm replacing them with tape.
At 10 grams, it weighs exactly what it did before. But now air can't pass through the frame.
Oh, it's ready?
It's ready.
Awesome. That's not flying.
She's a vibrate a little bit, but she's a no fly.
No flying. I love it. That's pretty definitive, man.
Yep.
Definitive and down to flight physics. The chopper blades not only create lift, but they also force air down on the surface of the frame, meaning that any lift is counteracted by the downward pressure of the air on the frame.
So how does all this relate to bees lifting a laptop? Well, assuming you had enough bees and enough lift from them to do the job, the physics and the geometry of the situation just isn't going to let it happen.
It's clear that bees actually lifting a laptop while glued to it is never ever going to work, but that got us to thinking.
There, that ought to do it. Let's see what it weighs.
What if the bees had a little elbow room, I guess wing room for a bee? What if they were harnessed kind of like our weight lifter? Could we get them to do work under those conditions?
122 milligrams.
To find out, Jamie has created a tiny laptop, which he'll harness to 2 bees.
We know from our previous test that a single bee can lift 96 milligrams. Now, given that our little laptop here weighs 122 milligrams, it should be easy for a couple of bees to lift it. If they can't, then there's no way that bees could lift a full-size laptop. What do you think? Shall we sort of give them something to climb up?
Yeah, sure. What are you guys gonna do? You think bees can talk to each other and say things like, dude, this sucks.
Yeah, but they're doing it in pheromones. You just can't hear it.
Right, right.
Once again, it takes a while for our post-operative bees to regain their buzz.
Oh, that's it.
However, before long, they're up, but not quite at 'em.
It is swinging.
You guys are determined not to fly.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Wait, put it down flat. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Might as well just face it, bees.
You're gonna fly with this laptop. I want it to go airmail. Come on.
But despite the MythBusters' various tactics of lifting, tapping and flicking,
almost. You guys are gonna have to come to some sort of agreement.
I thought bees were supposed to work together.
nothing they do can induce the bees to work together and fly.
That didn't work so well.
No, you know, for all the blathering on bees are always doing about it's all for the hive and cooperation, cooperation. When push comes to shove, they're actually pretty crappy at working together.
We know that theoretically a couple of bees should be able to lift this laptop, but getting them to actually cooperate is another thing entirely. So imagine multiplying that times 1,000 or 2, and that's what you'd be facing if you tried to do this with a full-size laptop.
When it comes to a biker versus a bug, most people would back the biker. However,
we found out at the Alameda runway with our motorcycle that if you hit one of these Goliath beetles going 85 miles an hour and it happened to hit you in this tiny little spot right here,
that's over 100 pounds of force.
Well, that's a lethal hit right there if it hit your windpipe.
But you're more or likely to hit the head or the chest, some area like that. Now, what would it take to make that lethal? Well, we're gonna do some experiments using much, much higher speeds to find out if that's a possibility. Now, for that, we're gonna need to build an air cannon.
Perfect. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right. So this is our BugZooka. Now, at the heart of the BugZooka is the Big Blaster, which is an integrated air tank and high-speed, high-flow air valve. We've used it before to accelerate a soccer ball to over 300 miles per hour.
Look at the ladder.
And I think we killed the soccer ball.
You put your own tube on the end, and presto, you've got a BugZooka.
It's a ladybug.
Now armed with the BugZooka. It's the final showdown for the biker versus bug.
Oh, it's a cute little bug of death. All right, what I'm doing right now is I'm lining up our bug tank so that we're hitting our target. But first, we're gonna take a few shots in front of the scale to make sure that we calibrate it correctly so that the bugs are flying at 120 miles an hour, which is not unlike what a motorcycle rider would be going.
Okay, this is BugZooka, calibration test at 20 PSI.
Fire away. Let's see if we get 120 miles an hour.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
That looked like a nice hard hit.
320 miles per hour.
That might be a little overkill.
What do you say we dial it down?
And at 6.5 PSI, they hit the BugZooka butter zone.
Very, very close to 120.
That's in the range.
All right. I think we've got our pressure.
For the first test, at 120 miles per hour, Carrie loads the Goliath Beetle inside a sabot to make sure he makes it out alive.
6.5 PSI. We are ready to fire.
And remember,
The forehead, 2,000 pounds. The chest, 400 to 4,000 pounds.
so that's the deadly range they're looking for.
In 3, 2, 1. Now that was a splat.
Was that a lethal hit or what?
Yeah, it sounded pretty crazy.
Our 60-gram Goliath Beetle hits the force plate at 120 miles per hour. But was it a deadly strike?
285 pounds of force on that one.
So we just fired our bug out of our cannon at 120 miles an hour into our force meter. It gave us 285 pounds of force. Now we know that would be a lethal hit if it hit you in the throat. However, it would not be lethal if it hit you in the head or the chest. So now it's time to move on to the ridiculous. We're gonna fire our bug at 200 miles an hour. That is the fastest known motorcycle ever ticketed. Let's see if that is enough to kill you.
Ridiculous is right. And depending on how you look at it, this is either a best or a worst case scenario.
Ready to fire at 10 PSI.
At 200 miles an hour, the fastest recorded speed that anyone's gotten a ticket on a motorcycle.
3, 2, 1.
Wow! Oh my God! Wow!
Look at that splat!
I don't know about you guys, but that might have been lethal.
It's an incredible impact at an incredible speed. But can we call this souped-up bug deadly?
So at 200 miles per hour, direct hit, 558 pounds of force.
I mean, that sounds like a lot, but it's really not. I mean, your chest can take so much more. That is the worst case scenario. Bottom number is 400. So this is really unlikely.
Yeah, and we are giving this myth the best possible chance, and it's still coming up barely plausible. But I think we need to call it plausible because if it did hit you in the throat, it could kill you.
I mean, that's what all the best myths are based on. Really unlikely circumstances all aligning perfectly to create a really good story. So, plausible.
That's a lot of bees.
Adam and Jamie have proved that bees can't lift a laptop.
Come on, bees, go, up.
You need too many bees
23,000 honeybees.
on too little surface, and the physics just doesn't work.
That's pretty definitive, man.
this myth is triple busted.
Oh, look at that! It's totally lifting off.
This myth is triple busted.
Wow! They are totally flying this laptop.
So how did that just happen?
We've come back to the bee farm to get this laptop to fly, except this time, instead of relying on the bees to lift it, we are going to rely on our experience in special effects. For while this barrel and this laptop look exactly the same as they did the first time we tried this, there's a critical difference, and that difference is this high-strength fishing line, monofilament, strung between the laptop and this overhead puppeting rig. Yes, so that when we have this laptop properly covered with bees, we will puppet it up into the air, lifted by the invisible monofilament, and it will look, hopefully, just like the video. That's movie magic in action.
Okay, so it's to be a special effects standby that makes this myth go off with a buzz.
This type of trick is known in the film industry as a physical or practical effect.
I think we might be ready for some bees.
In other words, it's old school. And if done right, we can make things all but invisible in terms of these strings. Of course, if there is a little artifact or two that show up, that's where the computer effects come in, and we can make it absolutely perfect.
Once again, Adam preps the laptop.
We're not even going to use glue in this test. We're just going to use honey. I'm going to coat this laptop, and they're going to lap it up. That's the theory, anyway.
Now to bring on the bees. And strangely, Adam is volunteering.
It strikes me that you're getting a little more comfortable around bees.
More than that, I think by the end of this episode, I'll be totally over my phobia. This is no good.
Adam's relationship with the bees started off shaky.
Oh, dude, I had some bad dreams like this.
But after getting to know them a little better,
look at that. She's having a meal.
It's blossomed into a mature understanding and respect.
I'm growing quite fond of these bees.
First frame of bees. Here we go. Oh, perfect. That is beautiful.
The bees are in place, and then miraculously,
oh, look at that.
The laptop starts to fly.
Wow, that is amazing. Look at that. Look, I can raise it and they fly even higher. Look, oh, that is movie magic.
And just like the viral video, it's all done with strings.
Look, it's easy to see why this video is so popular and compelling. It makes a great story, and you want to believe it. Strong bees, strong like bull. Unfortunately, that desire doesn't make it so. The laws of physics dictate that it is not possible, and we have proven that, and we've proven how they actually did it. There it is! It is totally flying! Oh, they're getting tired. So, let's chalk one up for critical thinking. I think we put this one to bed.
That looked just like what we saw in the video.
It did. I think that's exactly how they did it.
Well, it just goes to show. Don't believe everything you see, huh?
Exactly.
Did you know that mead is made out of honey?
I did not. I've never tried it.
You should. You get a little buzz off of it.